was 17 years old, so sick. I kept going back and forth to the doctor saying, something is so wrong with me. And they kept saying, nothing's wrong, it's all in your head. Quit drinking iced tea, even though there wasn't any sugar in the iced tea. One day my best friend and I were watching Phil Donahue, and they were talking about juvenile diabetes. And my best friend and I were so excited because we saw the symptoms. We knew that was me. We were like, yay, we figured out what was wrong with me. I called the doctor's office, and they still said, no, it can't be you. You don't have any of this stuff. Nobody in your family has ever had diabetes. It's not you. Just don't worry about it. Anyway, they finally ended up, after months and months, they finally took me in and gave me a blood test. And the blood test came back, guess what I had? Juvenile diabetes. They rushed me to the hospital. I was in ICU, IV stuck in my vein, scared out of my mind, not sure what was going on. In the hospital, I had no hope. Not one person, the nurses, the doctors, nobody gave me any hope. We'd have to go to psychology and psychiatric and all sorts of training, because when you have a chronic disease that eventually is going to kill you, that you have to go through and learn how to deal with this mentally. So they told me I'd be dead within 20 years, I'd go blind, I'd have my legs amputated, and I'd never be able to have children. And they kept telling me this, and nobody gave me hope. So one day I had enough. I threw all the papers on the ground that they'd given me in one of my classes I had to attend with two old men who were like 40 years old, which is funny because I'm way over 40 to them. And they were complaining about their life, and I kept saying, I'd give my right arm right now to have your life. But they didn't understand. All they had to do was change their diet a little bit. I had to give myself mini shots every day, never be able to have kids, and I wouldn't even be able to live as long as they lived. It's crazy. I can't believe in the medical community, nobody giving you hope. Anyway, that was me. But that was probably the best thing that ever happened, because I was such a hard-headed teenager at 17 saying, it's not going to happen to me, I'm going to show y'all. I ended up going to a medical school library in my own town, and they thought highly enough of me that they let me go in and do my own research, because I wasn't getting anything except my doctor's office saying, you're going to die, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, you're going to die. I mean, that was it. Fast forward, that was 40 years ago. I've outlived my life expectancy by 20 years. I have no complications and 2 healthy kids. I'm still on insulin, and I will be on insulin the rest of my life. Got my pump right here. I have a continuous glucose monitor, which helps so much. But I'll always be on insulin unless there's a cure. But my goal is to help people realize that diabetes is a difficult and a costly disease to control. And I don't want anyone dependent on insulin to live the way I have to. In my 3M formula, I help my clients understand the 3 M's. Mindset, believing, hey, it can happen to me. That's exactly what Tom Hanks thought. Tom Hanks had prediabetes for 10 years before turning to type 2 diabetes. You know, a person's mindset has so much to deal with this difficult disease, and to think, hey, I can prevent, reverse, or control it. The second M for beating diabetes is mouth. We have to learn to eat to live, not live to eat. We're eating stupid in this country. We're filling our bodies with fast food, processed food, junk food. We're killing ourselves. The third M for beating diabetes is movement. Realizing, hey, find something you enjoy, because if you don't enjoy it, you're not going to do it. Learn to park the car further away. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. That's a great jump start to taking control of your health. Remember, just simple things. For example, a Johns Hopkins recent study shows that drinking just 1 cup of green tea daily can slash your risk of heart disease by 35%. And people with diabetes have a 1.7 greater risk of developing developing heart disease than somebody without diabetes, somebody without heart disease. I'm going to say that one again. I did the same thing at Harvard last week when I was speaking at Harvard. A recent Johns Hopkins study shows that drinking just 1 cup of green tea daily can slash your risk of heart disease by 35%. And people with diabetes have a 1.7 times greater risk of developing heart disease than somebody without diabetes. Each time you make a healthy decision, your self-control muscles develop. So every day, make one healthy decision and watch your self-control muscles develop like the muscles on your body. Remember, don't lose hope. Simple strategies. Find the way to beat this disease, because living with diabetes is not any fun, but it is a battle that can be won. Yes.